This is the epitome of America Last. We're seeing grants being structured to promote avowedly left-wing agendas, and then the money is approved, and there's very little monitoring or evaluation of how these grants are even implemented. Every dollar spent abroad should benefit directly America's national security. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing great. As always, I'm here with an update on what has happened in Washington, D.C. this week, so let's get started on all of it. This week, the House of Representatives passed a bill that I wrote to restore President Donald Trump's sanctions on the International Criminal Court. President Donald Trump obviously did that when he was president, and as many of you know, the ICC has issued an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over actions his nation has taken to defend itself against the terrorist organization Hamas. Now think about that. The ICC wants to punish an American ally for defending itself against terrorists that raped and butchered 1,200 innocent Israeli and American citizens on October 7th. And let me say that second part again. They killed Americans. They held Americans hostage. Now, while Israel will ultimately be proven righteous, the ICC's conduct cannot go without response from the United States. We may not recognize the ICC formally, but they will recognize what happens when you target America's allies, or America itself. My legislation, crafted with Representative Chip Roy, would impose sanctions on any ICC official working to investigate, arrest, detain, or prosecute Israeli officials. The sanctions apply not just to ICC employees, but their immediate families as well. Under our bill, the ICC officials and their families would be denied visas to enter the United States, and those already here would have their visas revoked and face deportation. Now, while the bill is drafted in response to the ICC's harassment of Israelis, it goes much further. The sanctions would cover any action the ICC takes against American citizens and officials from allied countries. The latter includes NATO and major non-NATO allied countries, including Israel, Japan, Taiwan. It goes well beyond Israel. Our bill is premised on the simple idea that America's interests can and have to be put first. There is no scenario where the United States wins if far and away judicial bodies can punish our ally for defending themselves or punish America for defending itself. I hope that the Senate will go and pass this bill soon, send a clear message to that globalist organization that they're not going to touch America or its allies. So I want to switch gears here. June 1st marked the start of hurricane season in Florida. We're all well familiar with that. And whether you've been through a hurricane season a dozen times or this is your first experience, it's important to take it seriously and be prepared. Florida gets more hurricanes than any other state, and this season expected to be more volatile than usual. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration predicts that we could see between 17 and 25 named storms this season compared to an average of 14 storms. No one can know for sure when or where a storm is going to hit. We learned this the hard way in 2022 when Hurricane Ian appeared to be barreling towards Tampa Bay, but then it shifted a bit and ended up claiming the lives of 150 people in the Fort Myers area. It wasn't what was expected to happen, but it's what happened. So be prepared. Update your disaster kit. Sign up for emergency weather alerts. Familiarize yourself with all of the available county-wide information and resources. Know where you'll go if a hurricane is expected to hit Florida or your specific area, if you're just going to move to a different place in Florida, a different state entirely, or if you're going to fly, or if you're going to take a car, what you're going to do with your home, what assistance you need. Know those things in advance. For more information, you can visit our website, which has been updated with resources for hurricane season at mass.house.gov/hurricane. Going to something else that happened in Washington this week, the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on Oversight and Accountability, which I am the chairman of, held a hearing exposing how Joe Biden's State Department is sending your money to thousands of foreign groups, foreign countries, with less accountability and oversight than is used here at home, here in America, to build a bridge or a road with your money. That's nonsensical. This lackadaisical approach is exactly why we've seen the Biden administration literally approve grants to fund drag shows in Ecuador. That's a real thing. $20,000 grant to do drag shows in Ecuador. $500,000 grant to promote atheism in Nepal. I'm sorry, not to promote atheism in Nepal, to expand atheism in Nepal. They want to expand atheism in Nepal, which is promoting it. $500,000 for that. It's also why the Biden administration has sent more than $2.8 billion to Afghanistan, billion with a B, since the Taliban took power, kicked America out of its embassy, kicked America out. All new report shows that tens of millions of that money was delivered directly into the hands of the Taliban through extortion, through things that they called taxes, other things, directly into their hands, meant to go to groups to help them, right into the hands of the Taliban. This is the epitome of America Last. We're seeing grants being structured to promote avowedly left-wing agendas, and then the money is approved, and there's very little monitoring or evaluation of how these grants are even implemented. America is competing for influence all across the globe with China, Russia, Iran, other enemies. We're fighting to secure allies, and our tax dollars should be going to benefit you, number one. And if they are being sent abroad, there better be a damn good reason. So I'm going to continue holding the State Department accountable. I'm going to continue to work to hold Congress accountable for sending your money to other places, and sending your money to other places without caring or looking at what that money is even going towards. Total waste of your dollars. So let's switch subjects again. Biden administration and their border boondoggles. This week, polling got so bad that Joe Biden was forced to pretend that he cares about the crisis on the southern border. Biden issued an executive order that on paper should shut down the U.S.-Mexico border once illegal alien crossings hit 2,500 people per day. So the first 2,500 people coming across the border, that's fine. After that, well, I guess that reaches calamity, and then we have to shut down the border. They're reluctant to do so. They don't want to do so. They only care about something if it is a political problem. The border is becoming a political problem for Democrats, so they know they can't totally shut it down because their people would be up in arms about it. So they're trying to say, well, we'll shut it down after 2,500 a day hit that number, and that should just be good enough. There's a specific word for this. It's called appeasement. The American people do not deserve appeasing other countries at the American border. We deserve a secure country, a secure border. Do not be fooled by what President Biden is doing right here. It is an absolute farce. Let's switch gears again. The House of Representatives voted this week to pass a funding package for the Department of Veterans Affairs. I was able to secure a provision within that bill ending the VA's long-standing prohibition on doctors discussing cannabis as a treatment option for veterans in states where cannabis is legal. I've never been a user of cannabis in any form whatsoever, literally ever in my life. But to me, it is very problematic if you have a veteran who gets their medical care from a VA doctor and they live in a state where cannabis is legal and they can't ask their doctor, hey, is this bad for my heart? Is this good for something that I'm dealing with mentally? Is this good for something that I'm dealing with in terms of pain? Is it bad for this? Is it good for this? Their doctors cannot give them answers on that. That is very problematic. So this legislation would say that veterans in states where there is a legal cannabis program can have conversation with their VA doctors about whether it's good or not good for them. It doesn't mean that the VA is out there writing scripts of prescriptions for veterans to go out there and have medical marijuana or this gummy bear or this or this or this, but it means they can actually have a conversation with their doctor about what is good and what is bad, and the VA is allowed to speak to it. It is an important change for the Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans deserve to have access to every possible tool and the best medical advice that anybody could possibly receive. That means they have to be able to have those conversations. As always, it is an honor to serve you. It is an honor to represent you. I hope that you have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you all around, and you all take care. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.